Good morning, sports lovers, and welcome to another beautiful Friday. And welcome to your sports show on radio, your favorite one on radio, talking about sports. We are reaching you live on 92.7 KFM down here in Benin City. My name is Ewusa Agbekan, the sports maestro, and I've got Saleh Ibrahim, the Brakadabra Sports, with me in the studio this morning. We'll be looking at so many sporting actions taking place today. Well, in the NWFL, that's the Nigeria Women's Football League, there was a game yesterday, and Rivers Angels were able to beat Abia Angels, which means Rivers Angels are now taking the place of Edo Queens, which is the third position. They are both on 8 points, but goals difference, they are better than Edo Queens. So Edo Queens are right now fourth on the log. So their next game, I think at the Salman Bumja Stadium will be against Nasarawa Amazons, which promises to be a tight one. So we urge the Edo Queens to go out there and, you know, take what rightful belongs to them when they trade tackles with Nasarawa United. Well, we'll be having some matches, Amazons, right? Rather, we'll be having some matches today in the English FA Cup, 2 matches, and from what we are getting, Liverpool are going to be playing against Aston Villa, not the main squad because of the fact that they shut down their training ground, and they are going to be playing the under-18s and under-23 against Liverpool. I don't know how that will pan out, but we've seen that case before where Liverpool played against Aston Villa, and it was the under-23, the development team of Liverpool, and we know what the result was that time. So for me, let's see how that game will pan out, even if it's going to pan out, because they are still doing the testing for COVID-19 right now to see if other players will be able to play. They will have fixtures for you in the German Bundesliga, Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, and the French Ligue 1. Let's see if Paris Saint-Germain will be able to get to the top of the table if they are able to win their game. Remember, they've got a new manager in Mauricio Pochettino, but in his first game against Saint-Etienne, away from home, he got a 1-1 draw. So playing at home at the Parc des Princes, he could get much more points to fight for the title because they've dominated for a very long time. We've got a basketball results for you, and we also got stories from the Formula One where Aston Martin owner Lance Stroll wants to win the World Championship title. Remember, he has signed Sebastian Vettel for 2021. These are many more coming our way this morning. Once again, good morning, Ibrahim. Let's start from home. And remember, we talked about Edo Queens, how they are going to ensure they get the finish high this season. But yesterday there was a game for Rivers Angels, and they were able to beat Abia Angels 2-0. And they came here, they played out a 1-0 draw. But yesterday they won at home, and that took them to the Tech Sport, where Edo Queens, formerly occupied, that sat here yesterday. So right now they are on the same point, but goal difference they are better. But we hope that next game Edo Queens will be able to spark up, because they played 4 games, 2 wins and 2 draws.
Well, I think what Edo Queens should really be concerned about is their own matches. They should forget about what others will play. You assume that your rivals will win their games. So that's why when you play yours, you've got to take it. You've got to go all out for the 3 points. You can't be hoping that your competitors would drop points, and that is what will make you rise on the table. So you've got to just do your own thing and win all your games. Look at Bayelsa Queens. They're top of the table. They've played 4 matches. They've won 4. So they don't care what any other team played. They have won their own. They've done their bit. That is 12 points. Nobody can take that away from them. But when you get a draw or you lose and you say, okay, my opponents too, there is no guarantee that they are going to win theirs. You are basically kidding yourself, because anything can happen. So you've got to just take your games as they come, and then you go all out and you get a victory. Their next game is going to be for Edo Queens. It's going to be on the 13th against Nasarawa Amazons, who have not been particularly good in this season. So we hope that they will get that 3 points and just take it from there. Whenever they play their matches, just concentrate and ensure that they get all 3 points. It's not going to be easy. There is additional incentive, additional motivation for the clubs this season because of the inaugural CAF Women's Champions League tournament that is coming up. And we know that Edo Queens have not exactly been that superb in past years. It's just that with what we're saying, the encouragement from the government and everything, we feel, okay, they're getting so much, so they should also be giving so much back. They've done well. They've not lost. They've played 4 matches, 1, 2, and they drew 2. So they've started, you say, in decent form. I don't expect Bayelsa Queens to keep winning. There's a point where they will drop points. But Rivers Angels have also failed to win 2 games, just like Edo Queens, and that's why they're also on 8 points. But you cannot afford to the luxury of hoping that your opponents are going to be dropping points. You've just got to do your own business, which is what the Queens have got to concentrate on. We have given them the formula several times. It's in your home games, you have to win all matches. All your home matches, you have got to find a way to win them. Of course, it's not win at all costs syndrome that we're talking about. We're saying do your best, win legally when you play at home. When you go away from home, you get the opportunity, you take it. Against Sunshine Queens that they played out, the goalless draw. It means that they could have also won that game. So when Rivers Angels came here, it was 1-1. So it means that they could have beaten Rivers Angels, and when they go away, they could also get a draw against Rivers Angels. So you've got to look at that. You've got to approach every season with that type of mentality, and I believe that's why Bayelsa Queens are doing so well. So Edo Queens should be looking at those sides that are ahead of them and studying what makes them very good, and they should also concentrate and try and get to that level. So their next game, of course, you feel you don't need to put any pressure on them. They should know that they have got to win that, because when you look at women's football in Nigeria right now, I don't think any team has got it as good as Edo Queens. No team might be, better than them, or you could argue that, but they are not better than any other team in part in terms of what they are getting from the government. But I don't think that any team, from what we've had, any team is getting better than they are getting. So it is time for them to also reciprocate. I've got calls from officials of Nigerian Women Football League saying, I hope these girls, they appreciate what is happening. That we can see that they are getting so much. So they have got to also go out there and do their best. They've got to establish themselves into a dominant force in the Nigerian Women's League, the way Rivers Angels have done, the way Delta Queens and some of the other sides have done in the past. So they have got to go out there and do this and establish themselves as a major force to be reckoned with in Nigerian women's football.
Okay, from Nigerian women's football, still in the in Nigeria, let's talk about the CAF Confederation Cup, because Rivers Angels and Imba International today they will know their opponents. Rivers United, sorry, and Imba International today they will know their opponents in the during the draws.
Rivers United,
but they've not played. They've not fixed the date.
Yeah, but what I think what they can do is to say whoever Rivers United or Bloemfontein Celtic versus this team. So they've got an unfinished piece of business to attend to. I really do not honestly understand why we are having this, because we had another game in Nigeria that same day, involving Imba International. So I really cannot comprehend why they were unable to get everything sorted out. And if it's not about South Africa as a country, I know that there are some times when maybe you have people coming in from a particular country. For instance, when COVID started, the way you would deal with a situation involving people coming from China might be different from how you would treat people coming in from Belgium, for instance. So maybe that's why they had some issues with the contingent from Bloemfontein Celtic. But whatever it is, I hope they get to play that match soon, so that Rivers United will know exactly where they stand.
All right, teams that are seeded from the Champions League: Raja Casablanca, Primero de Agosto, Imba International, CS Fasien, Gor Mahia of Kenya, FC Platinum, Nkana FC, and Ashanti Kotoko. Then unseeded, they are Joanne Galazi, Young Buffaloes, AS Boinguidi, ROC Abidjan, Ahali Benghazi, Stade Malien, and AS Sonidep. These are unseeded teams. Then from the CAF Confederation Cup, the seeded teams are RS Berkane, Etoile du Sahel, Pyramids of Egypt, AS Setif, JS Kabir, Orlando Pirates, and DC Motema Pembe. Then the unseeded teams are Salitas, Cotton Sports, TAS Casablanca, AS Kigali, Diaraf, Namungo FC, US Monastir, Napsa Stars, and Bloemfontein Celtics/Rivers United. That is what we are getting. And the seeded teams from CAF Champions League will be randomly drawn with unseeded teams from CAF Confederation Cup, while the seeded teams from CAF Confederation Cup will be randomly drawn with unseeded teams from CAF Champions League. So that is what we're expecting. Let's see how the draw will go and see Oyimba will be taking on next, because from what we are getting, following that 4-2 aggregate defeat to Amirek, that cost the two-time African champions a payoff of $550,000, which is about 253 million naira. Wow, that's huge money. I hope the Aba Elephants will go ahead to win the CAF Confederation Cup. We just hope so. All right, let's go on our first break on the show this morning, and when we return from this break, we'll be looking at other stories concerning Nigeria. Remember, the Golden Eagles, they are still in the Wafu B, haven't lost to Cote d'Ivoire, but playing against Ghana. We hope that they turn things around. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Success everybody they see. Nobody was there when the journey started. When you had to kill your sleep and sometimes break down with pains, aches, and fever. But success lies at the other end of pain. And as a Naija born and bred, we know they carry last. Push through pain with Emzor paracetamol. Then stare pain in the face and say, not today.
For aches, pains, and fever, trust Emzor paracetamol. If symptoms persist after 2 days, please see your doctor.
Welcome back, and in case you are just tuning in, a Sports Fiesta reaching you live on 92.7 KUFM down here in Benin City. My name is Ewusa Igbeka, the Sports Maestro, and I'm still in the building with Salih Ibrahim, the Bracadabra on Sports. We told you what to expect from the draws that will be made today in the playoff for the playoff round of the CAF Confederation Cup, and that will take place in Cairo, the CAF headquarters in Egypt. So that is what we are expecting, and also we talked about Rivers Angels taking the place of Edo Queens following their 2-0 win over Abia Angels yesterday in the Nigerian Women's Professional League. Okay, now looking at the under-17 Wafu B tourney currently going on right now. The Golden Eagles lost their first game to Cote d'Ivoire, but Adeboye, former goalkeeper, really wasn't happy with the way they played. Dele Ajiboye, rather, really wasn't happy with the way they played, but he hopes that they turn things around. And even the coach, Fatayamo, said that the Golden Eagles played better than Ghana. But what is their problem? Playing better than your next opponent and not converting your chances. Then what makes you a good team? What makes you a good team is, you create chances, you convert them, and you come out emerge winners. That is what makes you a good team. Yeah, dominating the game and being on the losing side, come on, that is just nothing but, excuses. But in the next game against Ghana, what are we expecting?
With Nigerian football these days, especially the underage football, I honestly do not know what to expect. That's just the bitter truth, because standards are falling so low that you really do not know what to get again. You've got to be hoping that somehow the lads will find a level that will be too much for their opponents. But the decline, it's not something that we are just saying. It's been consistent, and that's my worry. That in the past, even when things were not doing well, if for whatever reason the Flying Eagles, they fail to do well, the Golden Eagles usually comes to put smiles on our faces. And if for whatever reason the Golden Eagles are unable to, you can count on the Flying Eagles or the Under-23 squad. But these days, you can't qualify for the Olympics. You can't qualify for the under 17. You can't qualify for the under 20. But for the men and the women, and it's just appalling what is going on. So it is the same, deja vu, almost deja vu. What happened with the under 20, the Flying Eagles? It was the same. Although they are on, I think the first game they drew with Cote d'Ivoire. They were, I think, leading. Then later, Cote d'Ivoire got the equalizer, and it was 1-1. Then we played Ghana next, and the hope was that we were going to beat Ghana. But what happened? Ghana beat us. Then we were now hoping that Ghana will help us to beat Cote d'Ivoire. It turned out that Cote d'Ivoire beat Ghana. So it's the same thing that has happened now. But only that this one is even worse. At least the previous time, we had a point that we could say, okay, maybe if we had avoided defeat in the next game against Cote d'Ivoire, against Ghana, we might have qualified. Now, we definitely have to beat Ghana, and with what has happened recently, I'm not sure it's something that we could beat our chest and say, yes, it's going to happen. But let's hope it does. Let's hope they're able to look at what's going on and then they turn things around. The president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, has spoken to the lads and has told them, look, you should know that in Nigeria, we don't accept all of this, and, we'll forget whatever the coaches will tell you, whatever excuse. Nigerians will not even want to listen. Exactly what they are saying now, we played better than the opponent. And nobody wants to listen to all that. What Nigerians want to know is when the Golden Eagles played against the Black Starlets of Ghana, who won? That's the most important statistic. And if they fail to get it, it will just be further confirmation that Nigerian football is at a crossroads, especially youth football, and you wonder why, with all the exceptional talents that we've got in this country, why are we going through this crisis? So it's a time for sober reflection. We can see it even with the senior national team. Look, we've never had a situation where all of our national teams, all of them, including the clubs that will go on to represent us on the continent, are not doing well. So that, tell me which football team in Nigeria is excelling at the moment. Which category will you say, okay, things are doing very well here? There is none. The women are struggling. The underage for the men and the women too, we're having the same issues. The senior men's national team, we can't even beat Sierra Leone. We could not beat Sierra Leone. 2 games, we could not beat Sierra Leone. So you see, there is a serious problem with football. And no matter what you do, I don't care how well you excel in administration. We are not even getting it right with the administration, with all the issues that we have been having. We just started our league. Even the Nigerian National League has not started as we speak. They are telling us this 16th of January. So in administration, it's not like things are working well, but it is only on the pitch, on the fields. That's where we are having issues. So we're having issues everywhere. So we hope that they will be able to resolve all of that. I don't think there has been any time in the history of Nigerian football where across board, everything, club football, underage football, the senior national team, there is really nothing to celebrate. There is nothing in the past, no matter what. Even if you are complaining about some administrative lapses here and there, you will have the underage national teams doing well, or you will have the women, the Super Falcons, or the Super Falconets, or the Flamingos. One team will be giving you joy. But now there is nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Even the club football, it's really not there. Thank God Rivers United even went away and beat Bloemfontein Celtic, but they've not even completed it. And do we have any guarantees? Of course, I bleed green, so I will always say yes. Okay, now that Enyimba in the CAF Confederation Cup is going to be an all-Nigerian final, Rivers United versus Enyimba, so the club will come to Nigeria. But deep down in me, I know that is not likely to happen because this is not the first time that Enyimba will crash to the CAF Confederation Cup, and they've not gone on to win it. They've not even got to the final, let alone winning the competition. So it's really upsetting that everything is like this. So I hope that the Golden Eaglets can get something, win over Ghana, because we already know that the competition is, the World Cup is not even going to hold.
Yeah.
So, but at least let us even see our lads doing well and putting smiles on our faces.
Okay, that game comes up tomorrow, and if they're able to win, then they're able to win that game, they'll get to the semi-finals of the Zona African Nations Cup qualifier. Okay, we hope that 2021 will bring something good to Nigerian football. But the coaches, the administrators, they have to sit up and do the needful. If not, you don't do the same thing and expect different results. Okay, let's move abroad. And the first part of call, we hear that Aston Villa, they are preparing to feed a team of youngsters in today's FA Cup third round tie at home to Liverpool after a significant COVID-19 outbreak at the club. Though a final decision on whether the game will take place at all will be made today. So between now till maybe 3-4 o'clock, so we'll get something from the FA if that will still go ahead. Because from what they are telling us, the club, they are in discussions with the club is in discussion with the Football Association and want to forfeit the fixture kickoff, which is 7:45 GMT. But final confirmation of whether the tie is played is still on hold pending the results of further testing of the young players who are now being considered for selection. And Magdalani, the Villa's under-23 coach, is scheduled to take charge in the absence of Dean Smith and his backroom staff. I think this is the same thing that is also affecting the Rams, talking about Derby County.
Yeah, it's horrible that you have this situation with COVID, and now teams are being forced to play their developmental squad. It's something that you do not want to see, but unfortunately, that is the situation. So you either forfeit the game or you play with your development squad. Liverpool themselves, it happened to them last year, but we'll say 2 years ago now, but I think it was in 2019. It didn't happen because of COVID, but it happened because they had to go to the FIFA Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So they had to field an edge team, and it was Aston Villa even.
Yeah, they were hammered.
5-0, right? Now the situation is reversed. Well, we'll have to wait and see what they will do. I hope that they will allow the game to go on, because it's going to be a fantastic experience for these youngsters to play against
Liverpool's first team,
a top side in the English Premier League and a top side in the world. Sometimes this is FA Cup, it's knockout football. Yeah. Miracles have happened in the FA Cup. So you could play a very young squad and they end up even performing better than what the first team will have been able to do. But it's a shame, because you will have wanted the first team of both sides to be in action. But since it's not possible, we've got to look at the alternative. I hope for the sake of the youngsters, they allow the game to go on so that they can, perhaps it will be the chance in a lifetime for them to play against Liverpool's first team.
All right, good luck to them. And that is not the only game. Wolverhampton Wanderers will also be in action. This time they'll be facing Crystal Palace. Both games are slated for 7:45. Okay, we look at some fixtures from the La Liga, and today's 8, and they'll start today. Celta Vigo will kickstart things with a home match against the Yellow Submarines, talking about Villarreal. Then tomorrow, Sevilla will trade tackles with Real Sociedad. Atletico Madrid, the table toppers, will welcome Athletic Bilbao. Granada will take on Barcelona, who are now third on the log. Then Osasuna will entertain reigning champions Real Madrid. Then on the 10th, Levante will take on Eibar. Cadiz will face Deportivo Alaves. Elche will do battle with Itafe. Real Valladolid will take on Valencia. These are the matches to expect on Sunday, while on Monday, Huesca will face Real Betis. Okay, then we'll look at the German Bundesliga fixtures. 2 matches slated for one game slated for tonight, and it's going to be between Borussia Mönchengladbach and Bayern Munich. These 2 teams are really tough, and they have been doing well this season. But Bayern, well, they are still top of the table, but on with few points difference rather. But then they'll travel away today. Then tomorrow, Saturday, Bayer Leverkusen will welcome Werder Bremen. Freiburg will be at home to FC Cologne. Mainz will do battle with Eintracht Frankfurt. Schalke 04, who have been struggling even after changing so many coaches, will be at home to Hoffenheim. Then Union Berlin will trade tackles with Wolfsburg. RB Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund. Then on Sunday, it will be Augsburg versus Stuttgart. Then Arminia Bielefeld versus Hertha Berlin. Okay, we've got fixtures from the Italian Serie A as well. Let's quickly look at that. Benevento versus Atalanta. Genoa will take on Bologna. AC Milan will trade tackles with Torino. These matches are slated for tomorrow. Then on Sunday, AS Roma will entertain Inter. That promises to be explosive. Hellas Verona versus Crotone. Parma will take on Lazio. Udinese will welcome Napoli, while Fiorentina will take on Cagliari. Then Juventus will be at home to Sassuolo. Then on Monday, Spezia will take on Sampdoria. But the French Ligue 1, all matches are slated for tomorrow. All matches and no matches, and there's no game on Sunday. We'll look at all the fixtures tomorrow in the Ligue 1. Bordeaux will be at home to Lorient. Dijon versus Marseille. Lens will face Strasbourg. Metz will trade tackles with Nice. Monaco versus Angers. Montpellier will face Nantes. Nice versus Lille. Paris Saint-Germain this time we welcome Brest. Reims will take on Saint-Etienne, while Rennes will take on league leaders Lyon. These are what to expect from the 4 major leagues tomorrow, starting from today till on Sunday. But in English Premier League, it is the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Okay, now let's look at something else before we look at the transfer, because we know that Manchester United, they have already completed signing right now, and I know their fans will be itching to know who that player is. But don't worry, we'll let you know as the show progresses. Let's quickly talk Formula One, because we still have to come back to football. Lawrence Stroll, who is the owner of Aston Martin, the Formula One team, he said his target is to become the world champions. I don't know how that he's going to do this, but it's really good for you to dream big. And the Canadian billionaire, he has renamed his Racing Point outfit after the historic British car brand. The team have also signed 4-time champion Sebastian Vettel for 2021. Quoting him, "My aim with this, like the other businesses I've owned, is to win." That is what he told BBC Sport in an interview to mark the official launch of Aston Martin Formula One. Remember, his son is also a driver, and he has signed Sebastian Vettel. I don't know, he's dreaming big, but will the drivers be able to match up with what we've seen from Mercedes, who have dominated over the past 3-4 years, and now they are having the world champion Lewis Hamilton, who is on 7 titles with Michael Schumacher. But from what you're expecting from this businessman, a billionaire, from what you say right now, what are the chances of Aston Martin competing with the likes of Mercedes and Red Bull and to become world champions? Will it be in 2 years or 3 years?
Well, I really do not think that any team right now can compete with Mercedes. Ferrari, you see them as maybe the closest, but they have also already told us that it's in 2022 that they will really hope to start competing for titles. Red Bull, don't see them really being threats to Mercedes. Racing Points that are now have been renamed after the legendary British car manufacturer Aston Martin. Well, we hope that the change in name will give them added impetus. Lawrence Stroll, his son Lance Stroll, who is a Formula One driver, and now having Sebastian Vettel, who has won the world titles 4 times, coming to race for them. It's going to be some sort of a boost, but I will be surprised if they are able to compete with Mercedes. I will seriously be shocked. But anything can happen in sports. Unfortunately, sometimes, especially in Formula One, when it is not just you, even sports where it is the human being, the athlete who does basically everything, like football, for instance, where it is you, the athlete, who has to run around and do most of the stuff. You could fail, as in the human being could break down. There could be injuries, there could be 1 or 2 things, emotional issues that will not allow him perform at optimum level. Now, when you compare it to Formula One, yes, it is the driver. You are the driver. You basically handle the car and you do everything. But there are times when the driver will be perfect. You'll be okay. You 100%. There is nothing wrong with the driver. He's not injured. He's not sick. He's mentally in the right frame of mind and everything. But he fails to perform. Why? Because the machine that is driving breaks down.
Yeah.
It has happened several times. We've seen it with the greatest Formula One driver. So in that situation, you know that there is really nothing that you can do.
The driver can do, yeah.
Yeah. So because of this, Mercedes, well, I think to a large extent they have been lucky in quotes. I know you make your own luck mainly in sports, but we could have next season and their engines, they will be having engine failures. They could be having ill luck, rotten luck. You could be. We've seen it happen with even Valtteri Bottas. He was leading just 3 laps to go, puncture, and he was forced to retire. It can happen to you in Formula One. So because of this, it's going to be. It's not easy to just say, one car manufacturer is going to dominate. But when you have a team of thoroughbred professionals who know what they are doing, there is a tendency that they will reduce some of these mechanical issues that tend to afflict other things. And when you now have drivers who are cool under pressure, like Lewis Hamilton, there are times when Lewis Hamilton has faced adversity, but he has managed it and he has gone on to win that particular race. And that one now, it has absolutely nothing to do with the car. It has everything to do with the driver. So it is there's going to be a perfect blend of man and machine to achieve success. So with that, well, Aston Martin, they can strive. They will, I'm sure they will give it a good go. But for now, we can see clearly that Mercedes is the team to beat. And I will be really, really surprised if in 2021 it is Aston Martin that is the closest challenger to Mercedes. I'll be shocked if that happens.
Because ever since Sebastian Vettel has not been, to me, I would say in his right frame of mind because of what has happened over the years. But this could just bring out the best out of Sebastian Vettel. Well, let's see if he's able to tell us that, okay, now I'm ready to put Hamilton on the back seat once again. Last year, they finished fourth in the Constructors' Championship and won his first Grand Prix, and thanks to former driver Sergio Perez at the Sakha race in Bahrain. So, and for the Mexican, it was not retained for 2021, but has now moved to Red Bull. So, Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel, let's see how they'll go at it next year in the Formula One. Okay, let's look at basketball, NBA. There were games yesterday. Well, the Nets are back to winning ways, and we were able to beat their opponent yesterday, Philadelphia 76ers, 122 points to 109 points. Let's look at the other results from the NBA.
Yeah, quite a few games were played. And Philadelphia 76ers were beaten by Brooklyn Nets 122 points to 108. Shake Milton of Philadelphia got 24 points, 1 rebound and 7 assists, while Joe Harris of Brooklyn Nets dropped 28 points, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Cleveland Cavaliers, they are doing much better this season than they did last time out. They got beaten Memphis Grizzlies 94 points to 90. Top performer for Cleveland Cavaliers, Andre Drummond, got 22 points, 15 rebounds and 3 assists, while Jonas Valanciunas got 17 points, 10 rebounds and 3 assists. Dallas Mavericks took on Denver Nuggets. It was the Mavericks who won 124 points to 117. Luka Doncic got 38 points, 9 rebounds and 13 assists for Dallas Mavericks, while Nikola Jokic got 38 points, 11 rebounds and 4 assists. San Antonio Spurs once again played against LA Lakers, but this time, at least finally, the Spurs got the win. They beat LA Lakers 118 points to 109. For San Antonio Spurs, it was LaMarcus Aldridge who got 28 points, 5 rebounds and 3 assists, while LeBron James got 27 points, 6 rebounds and 12 assists for his team. The Minnesota Timberwolves played against Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers won 137 points to 117. D'Angelo Russell got 26 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists for Minnesota Timberwolves, while Damian Lillard got 36 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. Those are the matches that were played yesterday. For the matches for today, we've got Phoenix Suns taking on Detroit Pistons. Washington Wizards will battle Boston Celtics. Oklahoma City Thunder versus New York Knicks. Charlotte Hornets will battle New Orleans Pelicans. Orlando Magic versus Houston Rockets. Brooklyn Nets taking on Memphis Grizzlies. And Utah Jazz versus Milwaukee Bucks. Then we've also got Utah Jazz playing against
LA Clippers, brother.
Sorry, Brooklyn Nets will play against Memphis Grizzlies. Utah Jazz versus Milwaukee Bucks. LA Clippers taking on Golden State Warriors. Chicago Bulls versus Los Angeles Lakers. And Toronto Raptors will battle Sacramento Kings.
Wow, fantastic fixtures waiting for us at the early hours of tomorrow. So let's see who will take this advantage against winning. But for Lakers, well, I know that they are going to struggle in some games this year, but hopefully they are going to bounce back because they are a great side. Okay, now moving away from basketball now, let's come back to football. And let's talk about the transfers. Well, we told you Manchester United, they've completed a signing for this month of January, and that is Atalanta winger, and also from Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire, whichever, and it was for £19 million, talking about Amad Diallo, and it was snapped up from Italian side Atalanta. We know how they performed last season, both in the Champions League and the Italian Serie A. They were a fantastic side under Giampiero Gasperini, the manager, and the deal for the 18-year-old includes a further £18.2 million in add-ons, and he has signed a contract until June 2025 with the option of an extra year. United agreed the deal to sign Diallo in October. And for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he said, "Having watched him myself, I believe he's one of the most exciting young prospects in the game." That is what he said. So let's see how he will adapt to Manchester United. Apart from that, we also have Jogging Club talking about not signing a player this season, talking about the centre back, and maybe he's hopeful that the VVD, Virgil van Dijk, will return very soon. Remember, he damaged his anterior cruciate ligaments in the challenge with Everton goalkeeper Jordan Pickford in the 2-2 draw on the 17th of October. So one we're expecting to get a centre back, though they are still top of the table, but he has said that the club will unlikely sign a centre back.
I don't think he's basically waiting for Virgil van Dijk. He knows he's not likely to have VVD until the end of the season. Maybe he will return perhaps in April. Maybe that will be towards the end of the season. But I think basically he's looking inwards, and he feels okay with the players that he's got. He will just try and manage the situation. How many world-class centre-backs are available right now that will be coming to Liverpool? There's very few of them, you know, except maybe he wants to go and get Sergio Ramos, who, you know, okay, maybe he might not sign a new contract. But even then, you expect that he will want to stay until the end of the season. By that time, Virgil van Dijk will have returned. So I think Jurgen Klopp just feels that they can manage until the end of the season before they will now see what they can do. If things do not improve, then definitely they will have to go for another centre-back. But for now, he feels they've coped well in the absence of Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez and other centre-backs who are having some issues. They've been forced to play defensive midfielders as makeshift centre-backs. It's not exactly worked, but you can see that they are not struggling like, well, by the high standards that they have set for themselves. Even though they are top of the league now, we know that Manchester City could overtake them. We know that Manchester United could overtake them if these teams win their outstanding games. So with the high standard that they set for themselves last season, because by this time last season, we already knew that they were going to win the league, although it has not been like that this season. So you might say they are struggling a bit, but look at the table. Even if Manchester City and Manchester United win the outstanding games, Liverpool will still be third, and they will just be a couple of points behind the leader. So they are still very much in the title race. But because they did so well 2 seasons ago and last season when they got 97 and 98 points, it's like right now they are struggling, because of the high standard that they've set for themselves. But I'm sure he's looking at it and thinking, okay, even without my first choice centre backs, I'm having a good run. I'm still at the top of the table. So what is the point? Why should I go for panic buys in January and later you might end up with so many players that are surplus to requirements, especially when your first choice, they are now back from injury. So he just wants to see out the storm, and he believes that he can continue this way until the end of the season, and by that time his first choice players will be back.
All right, so still looking at the gossip section. Fenerbahce boss Erol Bulut says the situation over the club's potential signing of Arsenal's German midfielder Mesut Ozil, who is 32, will become clearer in the coming days. Lionel Messi is 33 and he has told Neymar he's planning to leave Barcelona in the summer and join Paris Saint-Germain, with the Argentina striker also a target for Manchester City. For the citizens, talking about Manchester City, they are close to signing mini Messi. Dario Sarmiento, the 17-year-old Argentine winger, currently plays for the country's Primera Division side, Estudiantes. Manager Steve Bruce is keen for Newcastle United to sign an English trio of Manchester United players on loan this month, and has spoken at length with his former club over left back Brandon Williams, who is 20, defender Phil Jones, 28, and midfielder Jesse Lingard, who is also 28. The Magpies, that's Newcastle United, they have also contacted Monaco about French fullback Djibril Sidibe, who is 28. Tottenham Hotspur are in a strong position to land RB Leipzig midfielder Marcel Sabitzer, who is 26, but it's unlikely to happen this month. Former England under-20 midfielder Marcus Edwards, 22, has ended West Ham's hopes of signing him in January by renewing his contract at Portuguese club Vitória de Guimarães. These are just some of the gossip that we've got for you this morning. But don't worry, something could come out of this. Sometimes it's speculation, but it could also turn to reality. All right, let's look at something different. And now let's talk about, before we look at the SMS, let's just talk about boxing. Anthony Joshua is hinting at early retirement. I don't know why. He has got his plans and he owns his body and he knows what he wants. But looking at 2026, retiring at that time, do you think, because we've seen boxers who fought until their 40s, maybe 41, 42, it all depends. But for Anthony Joshua, hinting at early retirement, do you think that is the right thing to do at the moment when it seems to be the face of boxing, though he still has the unbeaten one to face, that is the linear champion in Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury is not
not linear champion. That was WBC champion.
Yeah, and he is the only fighter that's currently active that has held all 4 world boxing and heavyweight titles, although at different times. So Anthony Joshua will be hoping to become the first man to hold all titles. Well, he says in 5 years' time. In 5 years' time, he's going to be about 36, 37. I don't think that is too young for a boxer to retire, especially with what is happening right now. I know that with sports medicine and everything, you can now extend your career in whatever sport. But no matter how you look at it, boxing is a brutal sport. You are receiving blows to your head. No matter how good you are in defense, Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest defensive boxers that this world ever saw. But over the course of his long years in professional boxing, he received thousands of punches to the head. And it's not like these days where sometimes the boxer fights just once in the entire year. Sometimes they are not even active. Muhammad Ali, during his time, there were times when he was fighting like 3 times in about 6 months. So because of this, all the punches that he received and everything. So with what is happening, with how brutal the sport boxing is, I think it will be wise for boxers to retire early. I think at the age of 33, 34, you should be done with your professional boxing career. I know people will look at Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. and say, okay, but these guys are coming back and all of that. Look, it's every punch you receive, even the punches you receive to the body, not even the head, could potentially damage your organs. Your kidneys are always many of the boxers that you see, professional boxers, you can ask anyone that you know. Sometimes they go home and they pass out blood because of the punches to the body, the kidneys and everything. So it is a brutal sport. We enjoy it. You enjoy the knockouts and you scream and you. But when you sit down to analyze it, when you calculate the point, especially from a heavyweight, that's why they say one punch could end everything in a heavyweight, because someone who's a heavyweight, it means he's bigger than other boxers. So his punches, and that's why you cannot have somebody like Floyd Mayweather Jr., for instance, fighting someone that is in a higher weight division, because the blows are not the same. So when you receive that, especially in heavyweight boxing, it means that the punches you receive are harder than what you normally get in the lower division. But in whatever sport, whether it is the featherweight, whatever weight it is still dangerous. Boxing is a very dangerous sport. And no matter how well you are able to protect yourself, no matter how defensively, how skilled you are defensively, some punches will get to you. Whether body punches, whether head punches. And these things over time, cumulatively, it's going to give you some damage. So I will advise Anthony Joshua. I think if he's able to fight Tyson Fury, especially in 2 fights, and he should be thinking of quitting. Quit when you are still healthy, so that you don't end up with a damaged brain and everything. In the past, you look at you will say because of Parkinson, maybe Muhammad Ali was the worst in terms of all those other boxers, and I even recall some of them. But you recall that many of his peers even died before Muhammad Ali. Many of them. Joe Frazier died before him. Ken Norton died before him. So many boxers who fought in that same era, they died before Ali. You know, so it's not something that you just do continuously for a very long time. Especially these days that you have boxers haven't retired, they still want to come back and everything. So if we say in 5 years' time, I think it's not too early. Yeah. I think it should even be after unifying the heavyweight division, after beating everybody. Just live at that point, because you never know. Every time you step into the ring, that was what Floyd Mayweather Sr. was telling his son. Yes, I know you are the best in the world when it comes to protecting yourself in there. But every time you step into the ring, there is a danger that it might be the last time. There could just be one punch that will concoct you the moment it hits you. Look at what happened to Anthony Joshua in his only loss against Amanda Ruiz. He was hit in the third round. He didn't see it coming, and that was it. That was the beginning of the end for him. And maybe it has even changed him forever, the way he was fighting before. I think it altered it, because he now knows that one punch could basically just change everything for him.
All right, let's take some messages, maybe like 2 or 3, then we'll come we'll take others before we blow the final whistle.
Before we take the messages, there is this one concerning there is an appointment that was made at the University of Benin. Okay, we'll get to that shortly, but let's see the messages. This one says, much love to you, happy weekends to you. Okay, Flexwell Endurance from Airport Road. This one says, trying to get the sports. I think United should stop getting to any semi-finals so as to stop giving their fans heartbreak. Maxwell from GRA. Okay. This one says, Good AM Sports Lord, whatever we get from Nigerian sports is as a result of maladministration. I am not mincing words when I say that Nigeria sports administrators are all sellouts. I think, please let us mind the words that we use. There's absolutely no input into our sports to systematically progress from point 1 to point 2. Other countries in Africa are churning out world-class talent in various sports, but Nigeria can't even get results from football, the only sport that gets a mention. I also want to use this medium to call out CAF officials. The structuring of the CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup is too good. They should upgrade themselves and simplify the competition structure. In other climes, it starts from quarterfinals. Start from qualifiers, group stages, tournament stage, and then the grand finale. We are not even getting it right in Africa. Let's stop the square peg in round hole syndrome, because it's inhibiting the growth of African Nigerian sports. This could Joe Jesus from Uselu.
Okay, that's the much you can take on the show this morning. But when we come in the evening, we are going to read the remaining message. You can keep on sending your message, but definitely we'll read them. We'll come in the evening. But before we leave the studio this morning, let's take our final whistle on the show this morning.
I cannot say definitely we will not bring in one, but it is just not likely because of the situation in the world. If the world would be a normal place, everything would be fine. We won the league, won the Champions League, the club is in the best possible situation, and then you have 3 senior centre halves injured. Is that a situation where you would really do anything? Yes, definitely, but we are not in that situation. I don't know if something will happen or not. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp is not sure he will sign a centre-back in the January transfer window, despite having 3 first-choice centre-half injured. And that's the final whistle on Sports Fiesta this morning.
With that, we come to the end of the show this morning. Like I promised, at 4, we'll be here to give you the evening edition.
Yeah, right? And then we can tell you that the University of Benin has appointed a new acting director of sport. He's Dr. E.I. Agbonmaho of the Human Kinetics and Sports Science Department.
Congratulations. And it will continue from where Mrs. Igbafe stops. Okay, we'll see you guys at 4. Bye-bye.